They left you for someone else. Those words alone feel like a gut punch. You gave your time, your energy, your trust, and now you're left with questions that echo non-stop in your head. Was I not enough? What does that person have that I don't? Why did this happen? Let's be clear, this kind of breakup isn't just painful, it can feel devastating. Research has shown that the emotional pain of rejection lights up the same areas in your brain as physical pain. That sick-to-your-stomach feeling, the racing thoughts, it's not in your imagination. But this video isn't about staying stuck in the pain, it's about understanding what's really going on, why they moved on so fast, what that new relationship might actually be like behind the scenes, and most importantly, what you can do to protect your heart, rebuild your self-worth, and come out of this stronger. This is not the end of your story. It might feel like the worst day of your life right now, but it's also the beginning of something new. You just don't see it yet. Let's talk about what happens next. When someone leaves you for someone else, the pain hits differently. It's not just the end of a relationship, it's the feeling of being replaced. And that hits your confidence, your trust, and sometimes even your identity. You might find yourself replaying every conversation, every fight, every moment, wondering what you did wrong. You might even start comparing yourself to the new person, their looks, their personality, their life. And that's where the spiral starts. But here's what you need to know. This response is normal. Heartbreak, especially this kind, triggers the same areas of the brain as physical injury. That's why you feel sick, exhausted, or in physical agony. It's real, and it's serious. It's also why your emotions might feel like a storm shock, then anger, then sadness, then jealousy, and maybe all of them in one day. You're not weak for feeling this way. You're human. Being left for someone else would shake anyone, even the most confident person. So the first step? Let yourself feel it. Cry, journal, talk to a friend, vent. Don't bottle it up or pretend you're fine, because processing the pain is the only way through it. You're not broken, you're grieving, and you have every right to. One of the first questions that hits after a breakup like this is, how could they move on so quickly? You gave your heart, they walked away, and almost instantly they're posting photos, smiling with someone new. It feels cruel, it feels unreal. But here's what's actually happening beneath the surface. In many cases, that new relationship is what's called a rebound, a quick emotional escape hatch. It's not always about love, it's often about avoiding pain. Some people use a new relationship like a bandage. Instead of sitting with guilt, loneliness, or regret, they distract themselves by diving into something new. It's not about the new person, it's about avoiding the uncomfortable truth of a breakup. If your ex has an avoidant attachment style, they may have even felt a burst of relief when they left. Something researchers call separation elation. In their mind, breaking free feels good at first. But often, once the novelty fades, they start feeling the emptiness they tried to escape. Then there's the anxious type. The ones who fear being alone. They don't want space or time to reflect. They want to feel wanted, now. So they jump to someone else, not because they've moved on from you, but because they're afraid to sit with the silence. Even gender differences play a role. Studies show men are more likely to enter new relationships quickly, sometimes because they lack emotional outlets and need validation. Women might wait longer, process their feelings with friends, and enter new relationships more cautiously. But here's what matters. Their quick move isn't proof that you weren't enough. It's usually a reflection of their own coping style, not your value, not your worth. In many cases, they didn't move on because of the new person. They moved on to avoid themselves. From the outside, it might look like your ex is thriving. They're glowing, posting happy photos, maybe even acting like they upgraded their life. But the truth behind most rebound relationships is more complicated, and often, short-lived. Let's break it down. First comes the honeymoon phase. It's intense. It's exciting. Your ex is riding a wave of dopamine and novelty. They might even flaunt the relationship, showing it off to mutual friends, plastering it across social media. But often that's not because they're genuinely happy. It's because they're trying to prove something. Maybe to others, maybe to themselves, maybe to you. Then comes the reality check. Eventually, the high wears off. They start noticing differences. They might even start comparing this new person to you. If their new relationship began with betrayal or overlap, there's also the issue of trust. If they cheated with me, could they cheat on me? A common sign of a rebound? The new partner is the total opposite of you, loud instead of calm, reckless instead of steady. This overcorrection feels exciting at first, but those same differences often turn into friction later. Next comes instability, or the fast-forward effect. They say I love you in a week, they move in together too soon, They start planning big things before building any real foundation. When that happens, drama often follows, breakups and makeups, fights, confusion, emotional chaos. Because deep down, at least one of them is still not over the past. And now for the big question, will it last? In most cases, the answer is no. Studies suggest around 90% of rebound relationships end within a few months. Why? Because once the emotional smoke clears, they realize the connection isn't what they thought it was. They're still carrying baggage, and that always leaks in. But yes, some rebound relationships do survive. If the new connection is truly grounded and not just about filling a void, it can grow into something more. So don't assume it'll crash overnight. But also don't assume it's perfect just because it's loud and public. Whatever happens next, whether it burns out or grows, it's no longer your job to monitor it, because what matters now is your healing. Right after being left for someone else, your mind goes into overdrive. It's easy to get pulled into behaviors that feel right in the moment, but, honestly, they quietly sabotage your healing. Let's talk about the biggest emotional traps to avoid. First, chasing and begging. You want answers, closure, maybe even another chance, but reaching out to plead, to cry, to ask why, it only pushes them further away. No amount of texting or calling will bring back someone who already chose to leave. And worse, it damages your self-worth. You can't beg someone into loving you again. They have to come to that realization on their own. Second, obsessing over the details. You might check their Instagram, watch their stories, zoom in on photos of the new partner, comparing everything. But this constant monitoring is toxic. It keeps you emotionally attached to someone who's already detached. You don't need more pain. You need distance. Whatever is happening in their world will unfold with or without your eyes on it. Third, blaming yourself. You might start asking, what if I was more attractive? What if I hadn't argued so much? Stop right there. Their choice to leave is not a reflection of your worth. It often says more about their emotional maturity than anything you did. Don't turn their decision into your self-condemnation. Fourth, jumping into a revenge rebound. You may feel like proving you're over it by dating someone new right away, but when that rebound is built on anger, not genuine interest, it usually backfires. You hurt yourself, and sometimes you hurt someone else. Healing can't be rushed by replacing people. It only begins when you stop trying to compete. Fifth, ignoring the pain. Numbing out with alcohol, work, distractions, or even toxic positivity might seem like a solution. But ignoring your grief doesn't erase it. It stores it. Eventually, it surfaces in the form of bitterness, fear, or emotional shutdown in your next relationship. The truth is simple. You can't skip the pain, but you can avoid prolonging it by refusing to get stuck in these traps. When someone leaves you for someone else, everything in you wants to stay connected, to explain, to understand, to not feel abandoned. But the most powerful move you can make right now? No contact. No contact means exactly what it sounds like. No texts, no calls, no checking their stories, no accidental likes. You remove yourself completely. Why? First, it accelerates your healing. Every time you reach out or get news about them, it's like reopening a wound. No contact is how that wound finally starts to close. It gives you space, emotional, mental, and physical, to begin detaching from the chaos. Second, it breaks the addiction. After heartbreak, your brain craves your ex the way an addict craves a drug. You feel desperate for contact even if it hurts. Going no contact is going cold turkey. It's hard at first, but it rewires your brain. The cravings fade, and eventually the silence becomes peaceful. Third, it rebuilds your identity. When you're no longer wrapped up in what they're doing, you can focus on who you are. You reclaim energy to invest in your hobbies, your goals, your self-worth. The less they occupy your thoughts, the more room there is for your own growth. Fourth, it changes the power dynamic. Even if you're not trying to get them back, no contact sends a message, not a loud dramatic message, a quiet one. I respect myself enough to walk away from someone who walked away from me. And ironically, it's this silence that often makes people notice what they've lost. But here's the key. You don't go no contact for them, you do it for you. Not to spark jealousy, not to get a reaction, but to take back your power, your peace, your future. Every day you stay silent, you heal, you build resilience, you prove to yourself, you don't need closure from someone else to begin moving forward. You might not be stalking their every move, but let's be honest. Sometimes updates slip through, friends talk, mutuals post, something shows up on your feed, and when that happens, it helps to know what you're actually seeing. Here are the most common signs that your ex's new relationship might be a rebound, and not the fairy tale it appears to be. Red flag number 1. They got together super fast. If your ex jumped into something new within days or weeks, that's a major indicator. Healthy, grounded relationships usually take time to form. Speed often means they're avoiding pain, not building something real. Red flag number 2. Their new partner is the complete opposite of you. Suddenly they're with someone younger, louder, wilder, totally different. That's not coincidence. It's often an overcorrection, trying to escape reminders of you by swinging in the opposite direction. But deep down, it's a reaction to the past, not a reflection of genuine compatibility. Red flag number 3. They're flaunting the relationship everywhere. Constant social media posts, over-the-top displays, even accidental ways of making sure you know. If it feels like a performance, it probably is. People secure in their new relationship don't usually need to prove it to their ex. Red flag number 4. Friends and family are shocked at the speed, when even the people close to your ex say, "Wow, that was fast." Listen, loved ones can usually sense when something is impulsive or off. Red flag number 5. The relationship is hot and cold, dramatic or unstable. Breakups and makeups, fights and reconciliations. That roller coaster often means there wasn't enough healing before jumping in. And when a relationship starts from chaos, it often stays in chaos. Red flag number 6. Everything is moving at warp speed. Living together within weeks. Talking marriage or kids right away. That kind of fast-forwarding isn't romance. It's insecurity dressed up as intensity, and it often leads to burnout. Now, a word of caution. Seeing these signs might bring some relief, but don't make it your mission to find them. Because obsessively watching for cracks in their relationship just keeps you emotionally stuck. Use this knowledge to stay grounded, not to stay tethered. If it's a rebound, it'll likely show itself in time, and if it's not, that's okay too. Because the goal isn't for them to fail, it's for you to heal. It's the question that sits quietly in the back of your mind. Will they realize they made a mistake? Will they come back? The truth? Sometimes they do, but more often than not, they don't. And if they do, it's usually not for the reasons you hope. Let's talk about when regret might happen, and what it really means. If the rebound crashes, this is the most common scenario. The excitement fades. Reality sets in. They start comparing. They feel the void. They realize the new person wasn't the solution. And suddenly they miss the stability and depth they had with you. That's when regret kicks in. You might get a message out of nowhere. A vague, "Hey, how have you been?" Or even a full apology. But remember, regret doesn't always mean they're ready to be better. It might just mean they're lonely again. If the new relationship works, this part's hard. Sometimes the new relationship sticks. They don't feel regret, because things worked out for them. They rewrite the story in their mind to justify leaving. They say things like, "I wasn't happy," or "This was meant to be." It doesn't mean you weren't valuable. It just means they moved forward, and you have to as well. What really determines regret? It depends on their personality. If they're selfish or emotionally immature, they might never reflect. If they're more self-aware, they might feel guilt later, especially if they left in a hurtful way or the rebound fails. But even if they regret it, that doesn't mean they'll admit it. And it definitely doesn't mean they'll come back ready to do better. If they do return, ask yourself, are they coming back because they truly changed, or because things didn't work out elsewhere? Don't let hope blind you to patterns. Yes, sometimes people reconnect in a healthier way after time apart, but that only works if both people grew in that time, not just one. So if you're holding on just in case they come back, don't. Live your life, heal fully, and if one day they return, you'll be strong enough to choose what's best for you. Even if they never regret it, you can still be the one who ends up grateful. Grateful they left, grateful you outgrew them, grateful for the freedom to find something real. It doesn't feel like it now, but this breakup could become the turning point of your life. When someone leaves you for someone else, it's easy to see it only as loss. But it can also be a powerful opportunity, not to prove anything to them, but to rediscover yourself. First, reframe the breakup. If someone can leave you so quickly or replace you so easily, they were never your forever. They did you a favor by showing you their true character now, not years down the line. It hurts, yes, but it reveals something. They lack the depth or loyalty you deserve. This wasn't rejection, it was redirection. Second, invest in yourself for you. Start doing the things you shelved while you were in that relationship. Go to the gym, pick up that skill, change your environment, set personal goals. Don't do it to make them jealous. Do it because it reminds you who you are. Strong, capable, worthy. When you rebuild your identity brick by brick, confidence returns. And when you feel proud of your life again, their absence stops mattering. Third, rediscover joy without them. Start small, laughter with friends, time in nature, a creative project. These are the moments that heal, and over time they stack up, until one day you realize you went hours, even days, without thinking about them. That's not forgetting, that's progress. Fourth, surround yourself with support. Healing alone is hard. Talk to friends, join a community, even consider therapy if you're struggling. You don't have to carry this alone, and you shouldn't. Support is not weakness, it's how strong people stay grounded while they grow. Fifth, protect your space when they return, because yes, they might reach out eventually. But by then, you'll have clarity. And you'll know whether it's worth revisiting, or just another test of your growth. Healing doesn't mean you forget them, it means you stop needing them to feel whole. And from that place, you'll attract something far better. Love that matches your strength, not your wounds. Being left for someone else is one of the hardest things you'll ever face. It cuts deep, into your heart, your ego, your sense of security. But it is not the end of your story. Yes, your ex moved on quickly. Yes, they might seem happy. But that doesn't erase everything you brought to the table. And it doesn't determine your future. Their choices are not your responsibility. Your healing is. Avoid the traps, don't chase, don't compare, don't let this break you. Instead, protect your peace. Go no contact. Invest in yourself. Let time reveal the truth. About their rebound, about your strength, and about what you actually deserve. Because here's the truth, you will get through this. And you will grow. Stronger, wiser, more clear on who you are and what you need. And one day, you'll look back. Not with bitterness, but with clarity. Grateful that the wrong person left, so you could make room for the right one. You don't have to win them back. You just have to win yourself back. And you're already on your way. Don't leave without subscribing, liking, and sharing your thoughts in the comments.